bag. Wow, dude. Alright. Oh, looks like we, okay, looks like we started. Okay. Alright, so this is Mega Man X1. This is an incredible game. And undeniably the best platformer that has ever come out in any year, like ever since video games have been created. But that's not important. But the important thing is, this is the intro stage. It's pretty much every X-Runner's nightmare. Like, this stage contains, like, probably the highest execution of any stage or level, like, in the entire game. The reason for that is because the bees here require incredible mashing. As you can see here, both players are mashing incredibly fast, and what that does is, you know, not only kills the bees faster, but it also avoids getting hit more times than necessary. There's three different ways the bees can damage you. Upon contact, it does 4 damage. And I believe if it shoots a missile at you, it does 3, and then a bee shooting at you does 2. So based on the damage that you get dealt, you can pretty much do the stage in a different way. And both players are going for a pretty risky strat called task cars. Tokyo looks like he did it pretty well in Walrus 2. So that's a trick that is not... Like, you can't always do it, but based on the HP that you have, you can do that task bar strat. It saves near a second when done optimally. So that was pretty good. Holy... Dude. These runners are, like, synced, like, to the frame, it looks like. Good God. It's crazy. Ooh, Walrus got a God Vial. He got a really good Vial. Tokyo got a little bit unlucky there, so he's a little bit far behind. Just like the second and a half. But the fact is, like, the deal is with the intro stage, there's so much RNG involved that only being a second and a half apart is really, really good right now. So pretty much Zero has, like, the worst aim. Like, literally Stormtrooper tier, and he fails to actually shoot off the other arm of Vile, so he's pretty terrible. Probably doesn't know what auto aim is in 2017, lol. But that's alright. Because he doesn't really do anything for the rest of the game anyway. X is just pretty much just going to destroy everything and get more powerful than Zero. So like the first stage we do is Chill Penguin. And there's a pretty good reason that we do Chill Penguin first is because that has the dash boots. And since this is a speed run, we need to go fast as quickly as possible. So we're gonna get the Nikes. This is actually a pretty cool thing right here. So this is what I like to call pre-boots movement. Now, the deal is with pre-boots movement is that you can do things called slope jumps. And when you're walking down a slope, you can turn around and quickly jump and then turn back around. Now, what happens is when you walk down a slope in this game is that your movement speed and jump speed get increased ever so slightly. So you can choose to not do them or do them, and it saves a little bit less than a second, but optimizing it's really, really difficult. So you can use that to your advantage. And here we go to Foot Locker, get a fresh pair of Nikes, swag upgrade, you know, and then we can actually dash. And this is where the speedrun really starts. So that was No Stop Hallway. I believe done by Walrus. That was really clean. I believe he nailed that. And it's really cool how just the game has really developed over the years. That didn't really exist back in the day. See, there's another slope jump that Walrus chose to do. This is the snowballer section. Wow, they really synced up here. Like they're probably like maybe 10 frames apart. It's pretty cool. Snowballer section is actually really technical. So it's all based on like just pretty much holding right. And this is Chill Penguin right here. This boss is like pretty much every boss in the game has tons of RNG like that you have to deal with, minus like maybe a couple. But this guy can pretty much make or break a run, like it really can. Oh, Walrus could have had that. Yeah, Walrus unfortunately went for a risky strat. I do respect that though. because he was in a very good position to do that. Unfortunately, got frozen there. So that puts Tokyo probably about 4 seconds ahead. Tokyo going for the more consistent stuff. I respect that. You know, that's pretty good. So he pulls ahead a little bit. Second stage, we go to Kawanger. And Kawanger is done because doing Kawanger second allows us to get Boomerang. Because there is a trick on the third stage that we're going to be doing that I won't quite reveal yet because it's kind of godlike. So this may be the most technical stage in the game. There's a lot of ladder jumps. There's a lot of platform jumps that you can do to eliminate some wall kicks to save some time here and there. You know, Tokyo went for the laser boost, didn't end up getting it. Walrus didn't either. So that's whatever. And then here we have the turtle skips. You can use some damage boosts to get past their cycles. That saves a little bit of time over just not doing that. It saves about 3 or 4 seconds. This is the shaft. Probably a lot of casual players may have died a couple times here. But if you stay to the right, you're pretty much going to be safe. So this is the pre or post elevator climb. This is really cool, really awesome. Lots of ladders, lots of like really tight dashes and movements that you can do. Very difficult part of the stage to optimize. Then upcoming is it's a famous trick called Iceless Heart, and it's unfortunate. Oh man. Oh my god. Alright, Walrus gets it 4th try. You know, that's not too bad. Tokyo is kind of struggling with it a little bit. Tokyo is unfortunately having a lot of trouble with this trick, which is going to put Walrus as a big advantage right now. Tokyo, come on, man. Come on, dude. This is sad, dude. That's unfortunate. This is pretty much the price that you pay by doing Kawanger second, is that for 100% you have to get this heart. You absolutely have to get this heart, and Tokyo gets it. Okay, finally, good. All right. So that is really a tough trick. It is unfortunate that it took Tokyo that many tries to get it, because that does put him about 30 seconds plus behind. So that is really unfortunate. But you know, this is still fairly early. Just because Walrus has a pretty big lead doesn't really mean the world of it, because both runners could have some pretty bad chokes. So, you know. Now, there is a trick, and I'm going to go over Walrus here. There's a trick called Magic Carpet that you can execute, and it pretty much works like this. I'm just gonna wait until he gets it or not, just to, you know, put you guys to sleep with the mega technical explanation. And it looks like Walrus nails the Magic Carpet. Now, Magic Carpet works like this. So there's a trick in this game called Phantom Grab, and that's what that is. And the way the game works is if you have an item in your boomerang, that makes the it creates the most active item slot. So it pretty much moves like the item's code to like the most active item slot in the game. So what ends up happening is if you grab another, like if you obtain another object on the same frame that an event trigger happens. So in this case, like the platforms in Storm Eagle stage, when they appear, if you grab an item, if you obtain an item on the same frame, then event trigger happens. The first item that appears on that event trigger will replace that item in the most active item slot. So in this case, it happens to be a platform, and you know, you can ride it pretty much all the way across the stage, and it ends up saving around the 16 to 17 seconds. So it's a pretty massive time saver. Unfortunately, Tokyo did not get it, so that's really unfortunate. Looks like Walrus is getting some pretty good RNG on Eagle here. Looks like about 3 dives Or no, well, it could have been 3. He unfortunately missed a dash shot. Dash shots in this game pretty simple. Dash and shoot. They do 2 damage instead of 1. You can basically apply that to any enemy or boss fight, and you obviously want to use that. It's a little bit faster than just charging your what we call blueberry, blue shot, and wasting seconds trying to do that. You may as well opt to go for a dash shot. So this is still a pretty good pace for Walrus. This is a 35 paced run, which getting a 35 in any X run is really, really fantastic, let alone a race. He's playing pretty well right here, This is a really cool stage, and this is Flame Mammoth, and you can do a lot of cool stuff with this. So this is like conveyors in the stage, where you can take advantage of making your dash speed a little bit faster, and you can use that to your advantage. And it's all about optimizing how much time that you do spend on those conveyors to optimize that speed gain that you get. So Tokyo finishing up Eagle here. Looks like he's about 45-50 seconds behind, something like that. I'm not really entirely sure, but it's a pretty good pace behind. So Walrus gets a charge shot, which is mega useful. This is 100% obviously, so you want to... Oh, that's weird. I've never seen that happen. The little worker dude, like, pretty much stopped the boomerang and made the heart like stop in place. Okay, that's weird. I mean, these types of things would happen in a race, It wouldn't happen in like a run or anything that happened in a race. So, it's a pretty straightforward stage. You get the charge shot, and then you grab the heart with the boomerang, and then the sub tank, and then you grab both with the boomerang. So it's a pretty cool stage. Those are some pretty technical tricks and everything. This is like one of the maybe one of 2 bosses in the game that doesn't have RNG. So like it's kind of fortunate, because like after this you pretty much have to fight. You gotta fight Mandrill, you gotta fight Armadillo, you gotta go to Chameleon stage, and all those stages are pretty heavy on the RNG aspect. So it's kind of like the calm before the storm. This next stage here, do Mandrill. I don't know. I mean, people say Mandrill is like the best music in the entire game. I gotta disagree. I gotta go with Sigma 1, because quite frankly, that stage's OST the stage's track is pretty godlike, But Mandrill, I mean, you can't sit on Mandrill though, because Mandrill's soundtrack is pretty sick too. But I'm just saying, I think Sigma 1's a lot better. Now that right there, that was really sick. That's the pink shot E-tank right there. And you pretty much use the remainder of the charge shot, and then you can use that to kill the second blue guy and immediately switch to ice, and then you can grab the sub tank with the boomerang. And that was a really clean hallway there. That was really, really nice. This is also a super technical stage, because it's got a lot of things that can cause you to lose time. Tons. And there's a ton of lag that can actually occur on the stage too. And you eliminate that lag by killing certain select enemies. I was going to go for a trick called Paul Hart here. Probably going to get it. Nice. Very nicely done. That is a really tough trick. It's very, very precise. Has a lot of variance behind it of why it won't work, with, the boomerang going up or down. So, that was a very, very, very clean stage from Walrus. It was awesome. Very nice. So, the stage has like a ton of weapon swaps, and that's what kind of makes it really cool to watch. Like, you're switching from like tornado, fire, ice, regular buster. Over out, actually, you see sting as well. So this guy is really simple. You just basically stun lock him, and then he can tend to do that right there. It's called the Mike Tyson. Now, Mike Tyson's really annoying, because with the Mike Tyson happening, what ends up happening is that since he's dashing towards you, his iframes, when you try to shoot him, they're still active, so you don't actually hit him with the ice. So you have to do it again. It loses like half a second, to a second, depending on how dumb it is. But it's probably the most annoying RNG that I think. So you have to shoot it again, and it's just really, really annoying. Now, this might be the most simple stage in the game, despite a trick that Walrus is going to attempt. Both runners should be doing it. Now, this is another Phantom Grab that I explained in the Eagle stage. Oh, Walrus, I think messed up here a little bit. He meant to swap to Boomerang there, because you have to have the Boomerang in order to attempt the Phantom Grab. But I think I don't really know. I don't really know if he actually went for the Phantom Grab there, or he intentionally switched to Electric Spark. Because going for the Phantom Grab here is like incredibly precise. It's a pixel perfect trick. So the likelihood of you getting it is really, really unlikely. It's just low. So if he didn't go for the Phantom Grab, I respect that, because like it costs a little bit of time to actually go for it. Because what you have to do is, if you have to get it, and you have to actually have a drop, and you have to have 3 bats. You have 3 bats there, and there's a pretty good chance that one of them is going to drop something. And then you have to press against the wall, and that costs about a second, maybe a tiny bit more. Tokyo may go for it here. Tokyo, that was really close. That was like a pretty quick setup though that he did, so that was really nice. But you can see, and you can see that there is time loss there. So not getting it in a race, if you don't do that, it's not a huge deal. Because you kind of mitigate the time that you would, go for it, and you might save like 2.5 seconds overall, over that. But you won't get the Phantom Grab. And the Phantom Grab there saves around 6 to 7 seconds, because it's a huge time save. It's huge. It's the greatest time save we've ever seen on that stage. So, and it basically avoids having to backtrack and get the sub tank, because you got to let that little Crusher guy pass. And then he causes a ton of lag, and as a result, you lose a bunch of time going for that. So, if you don't want to attempt the Phantom Grab in the race, it's completely okay. So, this is a pretty low-key hard stage. Like, it doesn't seem difficult, but like I said, it's kind of like Mandrill, where there's a lot of stuff in this. And I mean, the boss is like the main point of RNG here. So these subs have like kind of weird properties about them. You can't fully damage them, and whenever they're not fully above the surface. So it would make sense to like shoot them as quickly as possible, but you kind of have to wait. You have to kind of wait for them to approach the surface, like before you can fully damage them. So, and see that right there with Walrus, like he attempted to tornado the sub there right off the bat, but the torpedo kind of gets in your way and kind of makes your day pretty terrible. And see, getting hit there, unfortunately, Walrus there did not get the quick kill. Made a tiny mistake. Doesn't really cost a whole lot. So, and the thing is, there's so many enemies and everything in the stage. So, when you get hit, it causes like dust frames, and causes like a ton of lag that otherwise wouldn't be in like other stages, just because this stage has like a ton of things about it. So you really want to minimize your mistakes, because your mistake is really costly on this stage versus like maybe another one, just because of like that like lag that can occur. Now Walrus is not doing the safe strat. It looks like he's just kind of gonna go for the risky stuff. This is Launch Octopus. Pretty RNG heavy boss. Incredibly, this right here, this tornado, this costs about 3 seconds. Now what you can do to kind of minimize the time loss with that is you can actually charge a rolling shield, and that does 4 damage instead of 3, and that may or may not cause another tornado, because at the end of the boss fight, if you don't do the charged tornado, he will have 1 HP left, and charged rolling shield. Wow, I'm an idiot. So it's good to do that like during a tornado, but there's also a strat that you can do, and you can use the boomerang to actually cut off his tentacles, which is what Crystal One Clear he did during the AGDQ race, and that will actually prevent any tornadoes from happening. So people want to go for that in a race, you know, I definitely respect that. That's the safe stuff. As you can see at Tokyo, he's fighting the Octopus right now. He's not actually that far behind, so there is still a chance of Tokyo being able to win. If you get caught in that tornado, you can actually get some really nasty luck, and you can actually get infinite comboed, and you actually can't get out, and that would cost a ton of time. I've experienced that many times in races and runs and everything. It's just really, really frustrating. It doesn't happen often, but it would be the type of thing that would happen in a race. So, looks like both players are gonna get entering Chameleon here. It's a small mini boss. We call him Green Biker Dad. It's kind of a joke off of Mega Man X2, the inferior game. And what ends up happening is that when you fight him, he can shoot his little crane at you, and then you obviously want to dodge that. But the thing is, when he shoots his crane, he can either retract it or cause himself to go to the other side with it. You want him to retract it, because if he goes to the other side with it, it causes a little bit more lag, and you kind of have to take a D-boost just to minimize the time lost from that. So, and ideally you don't want him to jump whatsoever, and that's the God RNG there. Walrus doing the little, it's not really a hallway at all whatsoever. It's kind of like an open area hallway thing. I don't really know what the hell it is. But now Walrus, so the way Green Biker Dad works is that you want to shoot like a particular amount of boomerangs. That way you can have just enough to use against Sting Chameleon. Now what Walrus did, and he may attempt this. It doesn't look, yeah, it looks like he kind of messed it up a little bit. He was going to go for an advanced strat called CFO Chameleon, and that can only be executed if you have more boomerang than you normally would have. Usually what you have is one less boomerang than needed to kill him, so what you end up doing is finishing him off with a dash shot. So you don't actually lose time by not having not having a boomerang or anything. You can just finish him off by doing a wall kick and then finishing him off with a dash shot there. But Walrus went for an advanced strat. It looks like he messed it up, so that saves like maybe a second or something. So it's kind of like some swag strat. So looks like Walrus is done with all maps, and we're gonna go do some revisits here. This is a revisit here. Unfortunately, the way this game routed, and doesn't look like it's ever going to get routed to the point that it will. You can't get the heart here on Penguin stage without getting a revisit. There's been some kind of shenanigans with, getting the mech on top of the stage to avoid I don't really think that's ever going to happen, to be honest, but I mean, that would save about 1 minute and 5 seconds, if you were to somehow get that on top of there. But we do this at the end, to got to get everything out of the way and first, and then we come back here and get the heart with the flame there, because shooting fire at a metal ice cube thing would just completely destroy it, because video games. So, Walrus may attempt this Phantom Grab again. Okay, so he's gonna go for it. Oh shit! Okay, sorry. Now that's really hype. Getting the Phantom Grab, that was very good. Now here's the thing with the Phantom Grab, is that you actually have 2 chances to get the Phantom Grab. One on the first visit, and then the second chance on the revisit. Which, if you get on the first visit, it saves more time. It saves a lot more time because you don't have to, attempt it a second time. So that's really nice. Getting on the first visit saves about 4 seconds. Or on the first visit, it's about 6 seconds. And same on the second visit, it's about 4 seconds. But I mean, it's like small time loss, but Mega Man X1 is to the point where it's like incredibly optimized. That any sort of time save, like anything, is like pretty hype at this point. So that was very nice. Really, really, really sick Phantom Grab by Walrus, and we'll see if Tokyo gets it. That'd be really cool if both runners got it. It'd be awesome. Let's see. Oh, hey, he was just a little bit off there. So, so here's the deal with why is Walrus killing himself? Well, there's a particular reason for that. So to get that Hadouken, to fulfill the 100% definition of this game, what you need to do is you need to fulfill like a bunch of really kind of stupid arbitrary conditions that Capcom thought would be, I don't know. I kind of wonder about this. Like, did Capcom really think that people would want to do this? Like, how the actual hell are you supposed to figure out? Like, oh yeah, there's a Hadouken thing. You just have to see a certain spot in Armadillo stage 5 times, and then on the 5th time, you have to have full health, and then you have to have everything beaten. Armor, all armors, all hearts, all sub-tanks, all bosses beaten. It's kind of like, what kind of arbitrary condition is that? Like, it was Capcom trying to troll us? Like, I don't know. It is an Easter egg, but at the same time, like, Easter eggs are usually feasible to find, but, like, this is just insane. So, yeah. You pretty much, like, you die there because, it's quicker than exiting the stage rather than just, so it saves, like, a bunch of time just to die, and, it's kind of interesting because this route actually has an extra life routed into it, and that's on Chameleon stage, so. That's a 26:04 Hadouken split. This is definitely 35 pace for Walrus. He could actually bust out a really solid race time here. So, the deal is, this is the greatest track in the game, Sigma 1. As you can hear, just, it's just amazing, so. Looks like Tokyo is on the final, he's got one more visit, it looks like. So he's, Walrus went for the leap of faith there. Unfortunately didn't get it. It's really a pretty tough trick to nail, and, you end up, skipping a platform cycle by just, you get rewarded by, going really fast. It saves about 3 seconds there. So, he's also gonna destroy these walkers here to get away with some lag. This is pretty much the only sequence break that we can really, like, talk about in this game. That's the Vile Skip. Now, what you end up doing is you wall kick on the ladders, and what that ends up doing is skipping the sequence, because Vile usually appears there, and then Vile is like squaring up with Zero. He's kind of like, hey, bruh, stole my lunch money. I'm pretty salty about that. He's like, let's go settle this in the cafeteria. So they end up, going through the other door, but you skip that by not touching the ground, and you end up going into the door by kicking off the ladder onto the walls and then straight into the door. And this saves about, like 15, 10, 15 seconds. It's a really minor sequence break, but, it does save time. Problem is, if you end up screwing up, like, because there's pretty much, like, 2 cutscenes happening at once, if you actually screw up the text, like, scrolling, you can soft lock the game. And if a runner would have to do this, that would be incredibly unfortunate. Like, for example, if, like, Walrus did that, he would have to reset and then use the Hadouken password, and then all of a sudden Tokyo would be ahead. So that's kind of like an interesting thing, and it's happened plenty of times in races. So so after that, Zero's like, all right, dude, bruh, see you later in the next game. So that's pretty cool. Walrus is going for an optimization strat. He released the charged Sting earlier, which eliminates some lag there. Pretty cool stuff. So after that, you gotta climb the shaft there, and unfortunately for Walrus, Kawanger did not teleport excessively there, and that causes massive time loss. There's, it's unlikely that he's gonna do that, but he can cause some massive time loss there, because one of his things that he does is just teleports right off the bat, So obviously the Hadouken needs to be nerfed, like in the next patch of this game. Mega Man X 1.2 patch, I'm really looking forward to. Hadouken's gonna get massively nerfed. Oh, that sucks. Walrus missed it. Alright, that's not too bad of a time loss. That's probably like 6 seconds that he loses by not getting the bow spider kill right off the bat. So that's pretty cool. So unfortunately the best music in the game is now gone, and you're kind of just left alone with Sigma 2 in Sigma 3 and then Final Sigma, so whatever. I'm not gonna cry about it. But Sigma 2 coming up here. Walrus looking like still 35 potential run. So you can use the C-Sting pretty much everywhere in the entire game. It makes you invincible. It's really, really broken. So that you can get a quick kill here on Show Penguin. You just you know, hit him with the whiff punish. I mean, doing that ice shot, you know, is really unsafe, and it's very easy to punish. So after that, you just bop him real quick. Then we go through the hallway here. You want to kill the little miners because, you know, I mean, I don't really know what they're doing here, quite honestly. I don't really see any gold running around, so I'm just kind of chilling. Like why are miners in this area? It's like an open area of sky. Like, what are they gonna get? Never really understood that. Like, I mean, it would be understandable if, like, you know, you were chilling. You know what's funny about that is that I don't think there's any miners in Sting Chameleon stage where there's like a bunch of rocks and everything that they can like maybe farm some ore. But they're in like Mammuth stage where there's like really nothing to farm. Like, I never understood that. Like, what causes the miners to be in this stage and not, like, I don't know, like a stage like Sting Chameleon where they can actually get some ore or something? It doesn't really make sense. Anyway, this is Rang the Bangda. And, oh god, Walrus gets the god pattern. Alright. Walrus, yeah, he pretty much got the best Rangda fight that you can possibly get. That is a double Hadoken. That saves a ton of time over not even being able to get a Hadoken at all. And that is pretty rare RNG, to be honest. That was a really, really sick fight. But it requires, like, some pretty insane luck. So that's pretty awesome. Hopefully Tokyo doesn't get super bad luck there. This is the armadillo skip, and Tokyo, or god, Walrus nails it, and then goes for this. This is a setup that you can do. Also, after he gets the Chameleon Hadoken, I'll explain a little bit of what the armadillo skip is. Just going to kind of want to see this first. And oh, that's unfortunate. Walrus doesn't get it. I mean, it's not a huge time. It's well, I'm not gonna lie. That's a pretty big time loss. Regardless. Oh, he misses it again, and he's gonna have to heal. So that's probably about 20 seconds he just lost, unfortunately. All right. So anyway, the beginning of this stage, you can skip a boss fight, and how you execute that is you pretty much skip a camera cycle. And with that, what you end up doing is skipping the boss fight with Armadillo. Because what triggers the condition for Armadillo to spawn is actually the camera scrolling up. And as you can see there, whenever you slid through the door, the camera didn't scroll up at all. And Tokyo, if you pay attention to Tokyo's screen, you see that black bar at the bottom there. Now, if Tokyo were to jump up, Armadillo would indeed spawn. So it's all about that. So you can actually skip by doing a small zip into the door with the ice platform. It pretty much forces you to go in there without a transition. Let's see if Tokyo gets the Chameleon Hadoken here. He didn't get it either, unfortunately. So with the Chameleon Hadoken, it's kind of an interesting trick. What you end up having to do is place a ice platform, and you pretty much turn into Akuma from Street Fighter. You know, you do an air Hadoken, like literally. So you want to buffer a QCF input, which is down forward, you know, which is used to actually do the Hadoken. And from there, you want to store that input, and then you want to quickly go into the start menu and then go back to your Buster, because Hadoken can only be performed when on Buster. And you pretty much want to hit Buster at a particular time, and that will actually do a buffered Hadoken input. It would be a frame perfect input, and then you can do it in the air and then execute it. And that's pretty much how you do the Chameleon Hadoken. Unfortunately, both runners kind of failed that, so they weren't able to get that. Also, Walrus going for a really cool trick called Damduken, and that is actually a strat that was developed by the TAS many years ago. And a runner named Malux actually figured out how to do that. So it saves about 2.5 seconds. 2.5, 3 seconds, and RNG, because before Damduken even existed, you had to deal with a little bit of RNG on that boss. So that's really cool that we can do that. And, it's pretty hard to optimize too. So Walrus is done with pretty much every pretty pathetic excuse for a boss fight, according to Mega Man X, that Sigma has created. So now he's gonna fight the man, behind the scenes. But first, he's got to fight his little Doge. Unfortunately, his Doge doesn't really put up too much of a fight either, because he, dies to a Ryu move. It's kind of busted, kind of one-shots everything. So Sigma's pretty pissed off at that. He's like, dude, don't kill my Doge, man. I'm gonna fight you for real. And then he dies too. But, I guess you tried, I'll give you a bronze medal for at least trying. And now he's super pissed. Like, he's mad. He is uber mad. And then he goes into his final form. And then now he's fighting as what's called Nogata Sigma. Wow, gotten some bad luck right off the bat. The thing is about this boss is that you cannot Hadoken him. The TAS proves that. It just goes tink. You pretty much just have to, whittle him down with Rolling Shield or Charge Buster, whichever you prefer. I would recommend the Rolling Shield, though, So, GG. Walrus with a 36:06. Very solid time for a race. Some mistakes there. Fortunately, the Chameleon Hadoken cost the 35 there, but that was a very good time for Walrus. Very excellent run. Tokyo also finishing up the run over here. So that was a very excellent win. Walrus walks away with the gold medal in this one. So after that, you get a pretty cool cutscene. The thing behind you, exploding, and get some random text on the screen there. And there's nothing more epic than a robot just kind of sitting on the cliff after he took victory. So, and it's got to be nighttime too. If it was daytime, it wouldn't be nearly as epic. Tokyo also finishing up this boss fight. He's got about 2 more hits left, and GG 3708. Okay, very nice. So the deal is there. That would have been an incredible race because both players actually played really well there. But Tokyo actually lost a bunch of time by not getting the carpet and losing a bunch of time on the iceless. So had he not done those 2 really crucial things, this would have been an incredible race. It was to begin with, but it would have been really close. So good stuff to both players. Really awesome race. And I don't know what else to say. It's a pretty good race or whatever. Are we gonna do like an interview with like both players, or how's that gonna work?
Well, one of the players is going right back into an interview. Going right back into a race rather. So I don't think we'll interview him at this time.
Oh, okay. Wait, who's up next?
It's X2, and that's gonna be Walrus, Louise, and Colonel Fatso, I think.
Okay, there's the commentator for that, right?
Yeah, Justin.
Okay, cool.
Nope, I'm sorry, I had that backwards. It's going to be Tokyo, Louise, and Colonel Fatso, not Walrus.
Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that was pretty fun. I think he did a pretty good job. Both racers did pretty well, so it's pretty awesome. I could commentate the X2 race, but I'm gonna go to the gym, so I haven't really gone yet. It's a leg day. I can't skip that. So I would. I would love to, but I have to hit the gym. I got friends coming over in like an hour and a half, so I would definitely commentate the race, but I seriously gotta hit the gym, man. I gotta hit the gains. I have to, dude. It is my destiny.